What's up, Taiwan? Good evening. I'm Liao with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Typhoon Hinnamnor didn't make landfall in Taiwan, but it did bring stormy weather, and rain is expected to continue for the next few days. Over the weekend, some households were left without electricity and others had to be evacuated, but luckily no casualties were reported. Bing Wong takes stock of how the weather has affected various parts of the country.
Winds toppled vehicles and trees. This vendor had to cling onto a pole against strong gusts to continue selling her fruits. The first typhoon of the year did not make landfall, but it did bring downpours and strong winds.
大雨的话，对于我们日常生活的交通啊、通勤都会不太方便。就是因为台北目前的话，最近这几天主要是下雨比较多。那下雨比较多的话，就会造成如果我要去一些地方办事情，比较不太方便。
Although the storm is moving past Taiwan and warnings have been lifted, the clouds are here to stay.
在入夜之前，大概在整个中北部的这个区域都还是会有下雨的这个状况。那山区的雨量还是会累积哦，只是它累积的这个速度已经没有像之前那么快了。
The rain over the weekend brought mudslides in Miaoli in northern Taiwan, forcing nearly 1,000 people to evacuate their homes. And the lights went off for many across the country, with an estimated 23,000 households without power. But despite the chaos, the typhoon did serve a purpose. The Water Resources Agency said that reservoirs in danger of running dry were replenished.
3天前的那个蓄水量是1.53亿，现在目前已经回升到1.9亿，也就增加4000万的入流量。
Just last month, the northern port city of Keelung had to bring tankers and ask the citizens to conserve the water. Taiwan has been anticipating its first major storm of the year. That's because many parts of the country has been facing drought because of the lack of rain. Taiwan's typhoon season is historically from July to September, but this is the third consecutive year that it's getting its first typhoon in September, and there could be a reason for it. The Ministry of Science and Technology says that global warming is likely the cause of extreme weather, and the country could see fewer typhoons in the future. Klein Wong and Bing Wong for TaiwanPlus.
The U.S. last Friday announced plans to sell Taiwan a $1.1 billion weapons package. The deal comes a month after U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited the country and as tensions in the Taiwan Strait remain elevated.
It's seen as the newest form of gray zone warfare from China. Tactics aimed at exhausting Taiwan's military without having to fire a shot. Civilian drones have been spotted flying around Taiwan's outlying island of Jinmen. The latest footage shows Taiwan's military scrambling to warn off the unmanned aerial vehicle using anti-drone weapons.
We've seen the drones from both sides. They can be used for harassment or surveillance. But I would say that this recent activity, they have more political and symbolic meanings, and they have more value in propaganda rather than military activities.
Activity has been increasing around Taiwan. Last month, there was a record number of warplane incursions from China into its Air Defense Identification Zone, or ADIZ. It's seen as a hangover from China's unprecedented military exercises launched in August. The 5 days of drills, essentially simulating an attack on Taiwan, were in response to a visit by the U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. She became the highest-level U.S. official to visit Taiwan in 25 years, despite Beijing's objections. Taiwan has since enhanced its defenses and is stepping up its combat readiness. This weekend, the U.S. approved a $1.1 billion weapons package for Taiwan.
So it is basically two parts. One is the maintenance of the Taiwan's land-based early warning systems. And the second part of the deal is to maintain or to improve the combat capabilities of Taiwan's F-16 fleet. There are a lot of discussions regarding the vulnerabilities of Taiwan's air fleet.
The deal includes 60 Harpoon anti-ship missiles and 100 Sidewinder air-to-air missiles. Both weapons can be fired from Taiwan's newly retrofitted F-16V fighter jets. The package also includes support for Taiwan's early warning surveillance program, which helped detect incoming enemy missiles.
有机会可以捕捉到包括逆中战机，也包括巡弋飞弹，还有甚至低飞的直升机等等，可以让我们的防空系统更完整。
Despite never having ruled it, the People's Republic of China claims Taiwan as part of its territory and has warned it will take Taiwan back by force if necessary. Experts say that Taiwan's air defenses, such as its air force and anti-air systems, would play a vital role in fending off an invasion.
For any landing operation to be successful, the opponents need to control the air and sea around Taiwan. And the most important task for the Taiwan military is to prevent its enemy from controlling the air and sea. So surface-to-air missiles, anti-ship missiles, and different platforms that carry and fire them are all efforts to keep building up a force that is suitable to repel a major landing operation.
At its closest point, Taiwan is less than 10 kilometers from China's mainland. With tensions with Beijing at one of its highest points, the Ministry of Defense is looking to shore up support from its allies, but has said ultimately that Taiwan's security is in its own hands. Chris Ma and Jaime Okan for TaiwanPlus.
The Prime Minister of Tuvalu, one of Taiwan's 14 remaining diplomatic allies, is on his first visit to the country since taking office. Hosea Natano received a military salute outside the presidential office in Taipei before a meeting with President Tsai Ing-wen. He is set to sign agreements on police and Coast Guard cooperation, as well as a memorandum with Kaohsiung's National Sun Yat-sen University on education and maritime research. Several countries in the Pacific region, such as the Solomon Islands, have switched recognition from Taiwan to China in recent years under mounting pressure from Beijing. But Natano said Tuvalu remains committed to its relationship with Taiwan. The head of one of France's top academic institutions says the world needs Taiwan. His comments came in a meeting with Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen on Monday. Jean-Robert Pete was awarded the Order of Propitious Clouds, one of Taiwan's highest civilian honors, for his contribution to France-Taiwan relations. Pete has been perpetual secretary of France's Academy of Moral and Political Sciences since 2017. President Tsai thanked Pete for expanding cultural exchanges between Taiwan and France.
Nous savons que Taïwan a besoin du soutien des pays démocratiques dans la situation géopolitique qui est la sienne. Permettez-moi de vous dire que le monde a besoin de Taïwan, de sa liberté, de sa créativité et de son optimisme.
British Foreign Secretary Liz Truss is set to become the country's new Prime Minister after winning the Conservative Party leadership contest. Truss beat out former Chancellor Rishi Sunak to secure the UK's top job. She won by just over 20,000 votes in an election decided by the party's membership, only about 0.3% of the British population. Truss will succeed Boris Johnson, who announced he would resign in July after a series of scandals engulfed his government. Both candidates in this election campaigned on their anti-China credentials, but Truss will have big domestic problems to deal with first. Energy costs in the country are soaring, with some predicting inflation could top 20% early next year. Taiwan's competitive cheerleading squads have taken the medal table by storm at the 2022 Asian Cheerleading Championships in Bangkok. Taiwan sent 6 squads to the event. Together, they bagged 3 gold medals, along with 1 silver and 1 bronze. It's the first time Taiwan's cheerleaders have competed abroad since the pandemic began more than 2 years ago. The teams only started practicing in earnest in March. Now that's considered a short preparation time by normal standards. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we leave you with images of the Czech Philharmonic's Concert for Europe, marking the Czech Republic's presidency of the European Union. The orchestra was playing Smetana's Vltava on the floating stage on the Vltava River in Prague. I'm Leslie Liao. Take care and see you next time.